Hey, and welcome to Unlearning Stress, the podcast where we break the rules and cycles that keep you overcommitted, overstretched, and just plain exhausted, and replace them with something better. No fluff, no guilt, just real talk, real solutions, and expert insights to help you shift the way you live. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been with me for a while, you're in the right place. I'm Michelle O'Neill, your resident emotional wellness coach, and I'm here to help you unlearn the patterns that are wearing you down so you can live with more ease, clarity, and control. Let's get to it. I want to talk to the woman who can't stop. Not because she doesn't want to, but because she doesn't know how. The one who pushes through even when she's sick. The one who keeps going even when she's drained. The one who wakes up already exhausted, but still gets up and performs. Because here's the thing, you don't know how to turn off. Not at work, not at home, not even when your body is screaming at you for rest. And if that's you, you're not alone. I get it because I've been there and I remember performing on stage while I was so sick that I couldn't even stand up on my own. I had bronchitis, but my group, they walked me onto the stage and they held me up so that I wouldn't collapse. And I performed and I did what it was that needed to be done because that's what I was trained to do. You know that old adage, the show must go on. And even if you're not a literal performer like I was, you know exactly what that feels like when people need you, when you're responsible and you're making sure that you step in that gap and you make sure that everything happens. Because as a mother, as a leader, as caregivers and high achievers, we have all been trained to stay on no matter the cost. But today, I want to ask you, at what cost? Because this way of living is not just exhausting, it's dangerous. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly why stopping feels impossible and why you can't just turn off and how to finally start taking your energy back. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Michelle O'Neill, your resident emotional wellness strategist and coach. And here's the thing, you don't just work, you perform. At work, at home, in your community, you show up no matter what. And the problem isn't that you're putting in effort, it's that you are over functioning in every single area of your life. Why resting isn't the actual resting for you? Well, you take time off, but your mind is still going. You sit down, but guilt creeps in and tells you there's something else that you should be doing. And even when you rest, you're planning, worrying, replaying conversations in your head. So, well, you never actually turn off. And here's why. Because stopping doesn't just feel like slowing down, it actually feels like failure. And more than that, it feels dangerous because deep down you're afraid that if you stop, you won't have the strength to get up and start again. Have you ever felt that if you just sat down for a moment, just a moment, that it's going to be harder for you to get up and do what it is that you have to do? So you keep going. You keep pushing. You keep that momentum going because you know that once you do sit down, you might not get back up. Here's a key takeaway for you. Exhaustion. It isn't just about overworking, it's about not knowing how to stop performing. If you ever felt like you can't stop, it's not because you lack discipline, it's because you are in survival mode. And for a lot of us, the only time we allow, air quotations here, we allow ourselves to stop is when our body forces us to. And I know this too because I've lived it. I used to work and push and do until my body shut down on me. I would get so sick, so completely depleted that I physically couldn't do anything anymore. And the wildest part? I secretly look forward to those times of getting to that point because that was the only time I felt like I had permission to stop. Think about that. Think about what that does to you mentally, emotionally, physically. To actually push yourself to the point of complete depletion just so you can rest without guilt. Here's another key takeaway for you. If the only time you let yourself stop is when you break down, that that's not high performance. That's self-destruction. And this survival mode, when you've been running at full capacity for so long, your body starts treating everyday life like a battlefield. And if you've ever been in a high pressure environment like the military, you know what it's like to be trained to always be alert. But even soldiers, airmen, they get scheduled recovery time because it's critical for the safety of all those involved. It's not just you. So why don't you take that time? Because you've trained yourself to believe that stopping isn't an option. And if you don't know how to turn off, you will eventually crash. Get this takeaway. Exhaustion isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional survival mode. And here's what most people don't realize. Survival mode isn't just exhaustion, it's a hyper vigilant state. Think about it. Mothers are always on call. Leaders are always responsible. Caregivers must always be vigilant. So now that you understand why you can't stop, let's talk about how to start taking your energy back. First, recognize the role that you're playing. Ask yourself, what's the performance I feel like I can't step away from? Are you the strong one who can't show weakness? Are you the one who always has the answers? Or are you the one who says yes, even when you want to say no? Because the first step to breaking that cycle is recognizing the role that you're trapped in. And second, give yourself permission to actually step back. Permission doesn't come from others, it comes from you. What's one area where you can step back even just a little? Maybe it's saying no to something small or maybe it's letting someone else handle it. Maybe it's letting your understudy step in. Because the truth, the show doesn't always have to go on. The world will not collapse. And third, practice micro rest. Small things. Start small. Most high achievers don't know how to rest. So instead of trying to fix exhaustion overnight, just start noticing when you need a break and take it. A 5-minute reset throughout the day, or pause before reacting instead of immediately jumping in. or actually letting yourself sit in silence without reaching for your phone. Here's another key takeaway. Your body, mind, and soul needs offstage time too. Here's the thing. If the only time you let yourself stop is when your body forces you to, that's not strength. That's survival. And I know you're tired of just pushing through, holding it together, doing what needs to be done, no matter what it's costing you. That's exactly why I'm hosting a free, get this, a free live workshop on March 6th. Join me live on March 6th for this epic workshop. Stress isn't the problem, it's the symptom. It's the hidden reason that you're still exhausted and how to break free. And listen, if stress management actually worked, you wouldn't still feel this drain. So in this workshop, I'm actually breaking down why exhaustion keeps coming back no matter what you do, how to stop living in overdrive and actually get your energy back, and what to do when stopping feels impossible so that you don't crash. Because the truth is you don't need another self-care tip. You need to get to the root of why you can't turn it off. So if this episode hit home for you today, grab your spot. Save your seat with the link that's in your show notes. I want to hear from you. I want you to drop me a comment. What's one area where you feel like you're always having to perform? And listen, if this episode spoke to you, send it to another high achieving woman who needs to hear this. I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. If this episode hits home, don't just push it aside. Lean into it. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And connect with me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, where we go even deeper. Links will be in the comments. And if you're ready to start unlearning the patterns that keep you stuck, keep listening, because real change happens one choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.